Hi, I'm Nikhil Taneja, and for my final project, I decided to explore the topic of audiobooks and learners with dyslexia. The Edutopia blog I chose was Accommodating Students with Dyslexia by Jessica Hammond. This blog introduces what dyslexia is and how to make accommodations to help students with a disability. I selected this article because of the large presence of dyslexia throughout our population. I wanted to learn more about dyslexia itself and how it affects students when they're learning. And specifically, I had two friends in high school that had dyslexia, Ryan Wolf and Patrick Surianarayan, and they both persevered through this challenge and went off to do great things and made it to great universities, University of Florida and the University of Michigan. The key points in the article were tools like audiobooks, text-to-speech software, note-taking apps, and voice recorders allow students to engage with content without being limited by their decoding skills. It allows students to demonstrate understanding in non-traditional ways. There were 5 main accommodations covered: audiobooks to learn, note-taking apps to help them take notes, record assignment instructions and lectures for playback so that they could rehear all the instructions and lectures, reduced homework problems because the average homework question may take them a lot longer to do, and text-to-speech to help them understand instructions better. Related EdTech tools are Learning Ally, Overdrive Education Bookshare, which is for audiobooks, Notability, and Evernote for digital note-taking, and then Read and Write by TextHelp for text-to-speech support. Some ways that these tools can be used in the classroom is a teacher provides all students with the option to listen to assigned readings using Learning Ally or Bookshare, normalizing ear reading while ensuring content access, and students can use Read and Write to convert written instructions into speech, aiding comprehension for dyslexic learners. Some pros include it boosts engagement and access for students with dyslexia, reduces anxiety and academic fatigue, and it encourages self-advocacy and independence, while some cons may include that it requires special training for teachers and students to understand how to use the tools properly. Some tools depend on reliable access to technology, which not everyone has, and the risk of over-reliance if not paired with direct literacy intervention. The learning theory I decided to use was cognitism. The use of tools like text-to-speech and audiobooks support how students process, store, and retrieve information, and accommodations target specific cognitive challenges. And the quote I decided to use was cognitive theories focus on the conceptualization of students' learning processes and address the issues of how information is received, organized, stored, and retrieved by the mind. And the other theory I decided to choose was constructivism. By allowing students to use note-taking apps, recordings, and alternative formats, the teacher gives learners the chance to construct their own understanding, and technology serves as a building block for students to understand the concepts on their own basis. And the quote I decided to use was, learners do not transfer knowledge from the external world into their memories. Rather, they build personal interpretations of the world based on individual experiences and interactions, which shows how they construct their own understanding based on the experiences and interactions they have. Dyslexia is a neurological language processing disorder that impacts reading, spelling, writing, and sometimes verbal memory. It affects nearly 5 to 17% of students, but it's often misunderstood or misdiagnosed, especially in under-resourced schools or communities with limited access to educational specialists. Some challenges that these people may face are difficulty decoding and fluently reading text, trouble with spelling, grammar, and written expression, and slow processing of written instructions or lecture material. Some special needs they may need to fully learn is they may require multi-sensory introduction. benefit from assistive technologies need extra time, oral instruction options, and alternative assessments. Some possible benefits from these tools could include improves access to content. Audiobooks and text-to-speech tools allow students to engage with grade-level material without struggling to decode every word, and it basically speeds up their entire process. Supports processing needs. Recording lectures and using apps for note-taking help students manage working memory challenges and focus on comprehension. Reduces fatigue and frustration. Reduced homework and flexible content delivery prevent burnout and create a more inclusive learning experience. And this overall helps their emotional well-being, as often they get very frustrated with their difficulties. And it boosts confidence and independence, as students have control over how they learn, building self-esteem and academic engagement. Some possible challenges or barriers could be access and equity, as not all students have consistent access to this technology. Training and familiarity, as students and teachers may struggle to learn how to use assistive tools effectively without proper training. And tech tools like read and write or notability require extra practice and instructional support to use well. And isolation, as these people with dyslexia may feel left out, embarrassed, or singled out because they need these extra tools, which may result in them not wanting to use the tools as much. Some strategies to overcome these challenges are ensure equitable access, which the school can provide devices for the students, and they can use free or low-cost tools to make it more affordable. Offer training and support to both teachers and students so that they can effectively use the tools. Normalize the tools by offering them to all students, not just students with dyslexia, so that they don't feel as embarrassed. And build teacher and student awareness about dyslexia, so everyone's more aware about the struggles they face. Some questions I have for you guys are, what are additional ways assistive technologies like text-to-speech or audiobooks could support students with dyslexia beyond classroom reading tasks? How might these assistive technologies benefit a different marginalized group, such as English language learners or students with ADHD? And if you were teaching a student with dyslexia, how would you integrate one of these tools into a daily lesson or assignment? In conclusion, students with dyslexia face unique cognitive challenges. Assistive technologies align with cognitivist learning theory by supporting how these students absorb and retain information. They increase access, reduce academic stress, and promote independence in the classroom. Successful implementation requires addressing barriers such as access to devices, training, and isolation. But successful implementation can create a more equitable and inclusive learning environment for students with dyslexia. These are all the sources I used. Thank you for listening.